All right, today I am thrilled to welcome Emma Mugglestone to the Right podcast. How are you, Emma?
I'm good, thank you, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm good. So, you have a new book out, which is called In the Long Run, which we are going to be chatting about very shortly. But first, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us what or who inspired you to write.
Well, I'm Emma Mugglestone. I am now a hybrid author. I'm both traditionally and independently published. I have been thinking about writing basically my whole life, but I didn't really take it seriously until a couple of years ago, when my youngest started school and I had a little bit more time to sort of devote to what began as a hobby, but now is hopefully going to become a career. And I just love romance novels, and I always have. So I just spent so many years reading them, and there was always this little voice in my head going, maybe you could do this too. You could. And eventually, I just sort of gave myself permission to try, and that's how I started writing. And I'm like I said, I'm independently published first with a series. It's called the Wattle Junction series. It's a small town Australian romances set in a fictional place called Wattle Junction, and I really wanted to independently publish them just to get used to sharing stories and having my work out there and things like that. So that's sort of how it all started.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I started out as a self-published author as well. So shout out to all of the other self-published out there. We
Yeah.
love you. And so why or how did the publishing contract come about with the traditional publisher?
It's a bit unusual in all honesty because like I said, I've been indie publishing my Wattle Junction books for a couple of years, and I'm very fortunate that one of them, the first my debut, The Reality of Us, it won a couple of awards through the Romance Writers of Australia and the League of Romance Writers in America, and that sort of led me one to Romance Writers of Australia, where I met the fabulous Rachel Johns, who is so lovely. And when she was at Penguin in February last year, they said to her, we think a run club romance could be a lot of fun, and we sort of need someone to write it. And she straight away said, well, do you know about Emma Mugglestone? She's a runner and she's a writer. She's part of RWA. She's won a couple of awards. That might be something that might be of interest to you. And then she slid into my DMs, which was very exciting because she's Rachel Johns, and told me about it. And I was like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens. And I didn't expect to hear anything, and I didn't hear anything for a couple of months. And then I got a message from my now publisher at Penguin asking if I would be open to have a meeting to discuss a potential project. And I was like, guys, I'm very open. I'm very available for this. So we just had a couple of meetings and talked about the expectations for the project. All that they wanted was that it would involve a run club in some capacity. And so, like, the story concept is all mine, and I came up with the characters and the setting and the emotional arcs and all that sort of stuff. Uh, so I pitched them a couple of chapters, a synopsis, some character profiles, and a bit more information about the story as a whole because it wasn't a complete manuscript. And I'm very fortunate that it got picked up. So
Oh,
that's how In the Long Run began.
that is amazing. Like, you don't hear stories very often where
No.
they don't even have a manuscript. You don't have a manuscript yet, and you go in at the real concept stage. That is
Yeah,
intriguing.
absolutely. So I mean, I did give them a couple of chapters to demonstrate both. It's a dual point of view romance to demonstrate both characters and their characterization and stuff like that. And I remember they asked me for a one-page synopsis, which is just very hard to do under any circumstance. But I had to submit. I said, I'm sorry, I had to do 2 pages, like because I really want to explain what's going to happen in this story because the rest of it is not written. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. That is so good. So tell us about In the Long Run. I've found a few tropes that you've used, and I say a few. So you've got fake romance, forced proximity, friends to lovers, he falls first, she falls harder. I love that one.
Okay.
Pastries as a love language. Fun runs
Shouldn't
their
pastries
fun.
be a love language,
Oh,
don't you
it
think?
should. I am all for pastries. Food in general is a love language. I love that. So tell us, give us a bit of an idea of what the story's like and why people should run out and grab it right now.
So In the Long Run is a steamy, slow burn, like you said, fake dating romance between two runners who have lost direction. We have Jen, who is about to turn 30. She's been signed up for a marathon. She's not 100% sure she can complete. And she has a very persistent ex boyfriend who just will not leave her alone. And then we have Knox, who's a soldier who's recently returned to Melbourne to look after his injured godfather, who owns a patisserie which is called Alize's, that's not doing very well financially. And one night, when Jen is trying to avoid her annoying ex boyfriend, she goes to their local pub, which is called Clamshell, and she sits down next to Knox and she asks him to pretend that they're on a date so her ex will finally get the message that there is no way they're ever getting back together again. And Knox is very keen to help when he realizes that Jen's ex is his high school nemesis.
Oh,
Yeah, and then soon after, there's some footage of them after a running event that goes viral, and all of a sudden, everybody knows about their fake dating, and it's very public very quickly. And they realize that they've got a really good opportunity to form a run club, which is called Croissants and Kilometers. And if that meets every week at the patisserie, hopefully it will bring customers in and they'll get the business back in the black. But the real question is, will they be able to outrun their problems? Will they have to admit their fake relationship is turning real?
ooh, gotta love a fake relationship.
I know, it's so fun, isn't it? They're one of my it's one of my favorite tropes to read.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. It is a beautiful book, a beautiful cover.
It's
Real
such a pretty cover.
congratulations. This is yeah.
Thank you.
I just again, I love your story. So, when the publishers talked to Rachel and contacted you, do you think anything else helped? I mean, obviously you had some books indie published. Did you have like a huge following on social media or anything like that?
It wasn't enormous. I had a couple of thousand followers. I'm very present on social media, particularly in Instagram, which I do think helps. And
Mm,
I definitely think it helped that I already had published books because otherwise, I think they probably would have asked for a lot more of the manuscript before they would have considered it. I guess the fact that I had indie books that were established and had done reasonably well showed that I could finish a book and I would. This is the kind of the standard that I would deliver and things like that. Hopefully, so I do definitely think that helped. And also, Rachel suggested me because she knew I was a runner.
mm,
So talking about myself like in the capacity that I was happy to talk about myself, because obviously we all have our boundaries about what we share online and stuff. That definitely helped as well because hopefully non-runners will read In the Long Run and really enjoy it anyway. But hopefully the runners will read it and pick up on a few of the little quirks and running jokes that are in there as well for those of us who do enjoy a run.
yes. Well, I am definitely not a runner. So
And you don't have to be to enjoy it. I said to everyone, you don't have to run.
no,
Like hopefully
I
you
was
like
going to say,
pastries.
is it going to make me want to become a runner? I don't know if my body would agree with that.
You never know. I mean, there are run clubs everywhere now.
There,
Absolutely, run clubs are getting super, super popular. And I certainly notice, I think the weather is getting better as well. Let's face it, nobody wants to run in the middle of winter in Melbourne when it's horrible and dark and miserable. There's more people getting out there. So I don't know. But you really don't have to run to enjoy it.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm there for the croissants.
Yeah. That's why I figured if I can't get people with cardio, maybe I can get them with pastries.
That's a
Come to my romance. Come on.
smart move, Emma. Absolutely. So, what does a day, an average day, kind of look for you? Do you have a routine, a schedule? You've got to write so many words. How do you manage it?
At the moment, I am in editing phase for the next book in my indie series. And I love editing. I would edit over drafting any day of the week. I find the first draft really difficult. So this is definitely my happier place, and I'm more enthusiastic about my work at the moment. I tend to work in sprints, to be honest, because I find that I work predominantly from home. Sometimes I go to my local library or I go into the State Library in Melbourne because it's gorgeous. But I'm mostly at home working. And I find that if I sit down and I try to work and I know that there's washing to be folded or there's, all the life admin that we all have to do, that can be really distracting for me. And I find it hard to be creative until that's sorted. So I usually work within the school hours and I give myself half an hour to an hour, depending on what I need to sort the life admin and whatever else is going on so that when I start working, I can really focus on what I'm doing. And then I
Mm.
tend to do 45-minute sprints and I give myself a 15-minute break at the end to go and do something else or scroll on my phone if I need a bit of a brain break or something like that. And that works really well for me.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. I'm very much the same when I'm in writing or editing stages. I do 45 minutes and then I definitely need a break. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
another coffee, stretch.
Yeah, exactly. Just go walk around the house a bit, stare
Yeah,
at the sky, whatever you
yeah.
need to do.
Go outside, stand on some grass.
Yes, absolutely. Get some fresh air.
Fantastic. So, I would love to know who are your must read, your favorite authors and books that you'll just automatically buy when you hear there's a new one?
I will always buy a Christina Lauren book. I've never met one of theirs that I have not adored. And it was really lovely because at the 2024 Romance Rise of Australia conference, they were one of the keynote speakers. And it was
Yeah.
so fun to hear a bit more about their writing journey and stuff like that. I'm also a big Ali Hazelwood fan. And this year, one of my friends has put me on to Carly Fortune, who I don't know if you've read Carly Fortune.
No, I haven't.
Oh, she's got so many good they're usually set around a lake in Canada, very picturesque. They're gorgeously written, so I've been working my way through her backlist. Um, but I'm also a big fan of Renee Black, one of our Australian authors who writes beautiful rural romances. And then I could keep dropping names for hours. Like, is there a limit?
Do you have one of these gigantic TBR lists like the rest of us?
Yes, I do. I don't ever put myself on a book ban though, because I just know I'm gonna break it, so
No,
I don't even bother.
absolutely, I agree. Do you, mainly read the contemporary romances, or do you venture into fantasy or anything like that?
I do mainly stick to contemporary romance, but I did get FOMO about Fourth Wing because it's felt like everybody in the world was reading it, so I read it and really enjoyed it. So I have been branching out a little bit into romantasy and stuff like that. I'm reading Powerless at the moment,
Ah,
um, and I bought A Forbidden Alchemy recently as well. So
mm,
I'm keen to explore a bit more. There's so many romances though that you could spend forever reading and still not get enough time to read.
absolutely, I totally agree. We should get paid to read. It would
I
be
think
a
so.
job.
I would do that happily.
Yep, hands up for that.
Yeah.
If anyone needs any readers, like, we're here.
Yeah, I'm available.
Oh, that is awesome. What sort of advice would you give to newly, aspiring writers?
One, to always write the story that you want to write, to not worry about what everybody else is doing, and to make sure it's something that you're gonna be excited and engaged in wanting to write, you know, because it's well, for some people, maybe it's very easy to write books. It's not for me. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort, and also you're gonna end up reading that draft about a billion times. So if you like it, that will make it much easier.
That's
And
it.
also to read widely. Read the sort of books that you think you would like to write because you'll pick up on different things and learn so much just from reading.
Absolutely. Has anything surprised you about the publishing business? And I mean, this could be something from when you were self-publishing or something since you've been traditionally publishing, just anything in general that you weren't expecting.
I wasn't aware of how voracious some readers were, really. I mean, I knew books were popular and things like that, but the passion and the excitement that the book community has for new books all the time is so amazing. And also, when you sort of extrapolate that to look at it from, we've just recently done online like Aussie Author August, and there was so much content generated about the Australian authors that we have and what books are coming out, who you might like to check out. Like it's really wonderful and heartwarming to see that there is so much enthusiasm for stories and especially Australian stories.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be on the scale that it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I started writing Australian rural romance, very similar to Rachel Johns sort of thing, and I wasn't expecting that. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that there was such an appetite for, Australian cowboys, as I call them.
yeah.
So, yeah, I
Well,
think
that it's so great. It's just such a lovely surprise that it is so popular.
yeah, and I think even, for example, Elsie Silver, she's not in the United States, she's Canadian, she's writing about
Yeah.
so it is so nice to kind of see these other countries with their own take on, a trend or a genre.
Yeah, 100%, and it's spreading, like, everywhere as well, which is so great.
Absolutely. So your self-published books, your indie books, are they available everywhere or just on Kindle Unlimited?
They're published wide, so they are available everywhere. They've always been that way, and I'm hopeful. There's currently 2 full novels that are out. With the first one is The Reality of Us, and then the second book is The Story of Us. It's an interconnected standalone series about a family of brothers, and there are still 2 brothers who I get to have their books, but I'm hopeful that Teddy's book will come out maybe in April next year, hopefully.
Fantastic. That's exciting. So what tropes y are you thinking of for that one?
That one is gonna be a bit black cat, golden retriever. I like the idea of, he never grew up, but she grew up too quickly, and that balance of someone being very, very responsible versus someone who and responsible because they have to be responsible, through circumstance, and then the sort of juxtaposition of someone who's never really had to be responsible, trying to find their way to balance each other out.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. That, reminds me of Problematic Summer Romance, actually, the same sort
Yes.
of vibe because we did that for a book club a few episodes ago, and
It's so good, isn't it?
it is, yeah, it's amazing. So,
I really enjoyed that one when it came out.
yeah. Well, I am super excited for this one. Is it in audio as well?
Yes, it is. It is available everywhere in audio, and it's I listened to a little bit of it. I was a bit unsure of how I would go listening to the audiobook, but it was really intriguing actually to get someone else's sort of, like, take on the characters and to listen. It was really fun to listen to. The
Yeah.
2 narrators do a very, very good job.
Oh, so it's a duel.
It is Jewel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my audiobooks, so I will be devouring that. I can't wait. That was amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Emma. I really appreciated you taking the time out of your
Oh, no,
busy
thank you for
schedule.
having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.
That sounds great. Thank you, Sarah.